Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We have tons of fun here on the channel talking about makeup and all things beauty. And today we have another get ready with me video. I am trying out some new products that I picked up from the drugstore. I know, the drugstore. Oh, gasp, gag. Tina at the drugstore. Yes, girl. In this economy, that's where we need to be. And I'm gonna have a mix of conversations during this get ready with me. I'm going to answer a question that I got. In one of my recent videos, someone asked me a question regarding how I decided to have a baby. So I'm gonna answer that, but also talk about the prices of products as we see them, the tariffs, what's coming down the pipeline, and what I intend to do, all while testing out drugstore makeup because it's apropos, right? So we're testing out some drugstore products, and I'll leave a full list of all the products mentioned and used in this video down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. If there are asterisks next to any of those links, that means that they're affiliate links, which means I'll get a small kickback if you make a purchase through those links. I also get a commission or a kickback through YouTube shopping links if you choose to shop that way. No pressure, it doesn't change the sale price or anything. Just if you're in the market and you're already shopping, please consider using my links because it's a great way to show you support for the channel because I get to put right back into the content, right? But we're trying out a bunch of drugstore products and I didn't realize it, but it ended up being mostly Maybelline because we're trying out their Super Stay line. We have the Super Stay Lumi Matte Foundation. This is new to their lineup. We also have this primer. I didn't know they were doing primers, but they have this poreless jelly primer. There's also a hydrating version, but I picked up the poreless one because I have oily skin. Hello. We also have these Maybelline lifter sticks. Yes, they're sculpting, bronzing, highlighting shades. So, you know, pick the shade that works for you. We have lifter gloss and their sun kisser matte blushes. Similar packaging, right? Tell me which one is the gloss and which one is the blush. Can you tell? Not really. And then I'm also mixing in a couple of shadow sticks and a palette. So these are from Juvia's Place. These are their new eyeshadow sticks. And I'm pairing it with a higher end Luxe brand. This is from Victoria Beckham Beauty. It's their new Bordeaux eyeshadow quad. So we're mixing this in. Concealer, I have this Camel Concealer from e.l.f. It's not new to e.l.f. It's just new to me. And I think, no, we have one more thing. The Maybelline Super Stay Teddy Tint. Oh, not just one more thing. I also have a mascara from Versed. So Versed recently launched some makeup products to kind of balance out their skincare line, and I picked up a few products from them as well, but I'm only testing out the mascara in this video. And I think that's it. So if you want to just hang out, chat with me, get ready, talk about some new products, talk about some other things, life things, then let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, guys. So as usual, we're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. And I didn't do a moisturizer yet. Let me think about it for a second. All right, I'm gonna use this little guy from RMS Beauty. They sent me this as a sample. I don't even know, did I order from RMS or was it from Macy's? It may have been from Macy's, but this is the Cockadoo Luxe Cream. Cockadoo? Girl, what? Yeah. That does not sound good. That does not sound very enticing. And y'all need to figure out the print on these boxes because it makes no sense. Thank God my eyes still work. So this says, indulge in a powerful fusion of skin firming and nourishing clean ingredients. Clean. This rich yet lightweight silky cream smooths the look of fine lines and helps improve skin's texture. The combination of radiance boosting Glowplex and Cockadoo Plum, one of the most natural and stable forms of vitamin C, plumps and brightens the look of skin with antioxidant-rich properties. Further enriched by artichoke extract and shea butter, this plump and fragrance-free, ultra-hydrating cream shows your skin extra love. So luxe, it feels indulgent. All right, Whatever, let's try it out. It's a little sample size, so we're just gonna try it out, and if it's really luxe, we can, you know, we'll see what happens. Honestly, truly, I'm not buying any more skincare. I'm trying to use what I have, and that is probably what we'll talk about in this video. I haven't really thought about like what topic should we discuss, but let's discuss limiting my beauty purchases, and if you are doing the same, given the current state of the economy, the prices that we're seeing these days, tariffs coming along. But even before the tariffs, the inflation pricing that we've seen has turned me off of makeup quite a bit. And I mean, it ties in with this video as well, since we're using a lot of drugstore products, and I am going to incorporate a luxe product. So it kind of goes with the conversation. Are we going to now limit our purchases, one, and probably start using more affordable brands, going back to the drugstore? Do you think that's what we're gonna do? Especially given how all these drugstore brands are trying to dupe higher end brands. And most of these brands these days are not even being innovative. They're releasing the same. I mean, look at lip oils. Lip oils became a whole thing. Everybody was releasing one. Whatever. This cream, I don't know, it feels like a moisturizer. Doesn't feel thick at all. I wouldn't say it necessarily feels all the way lightweight, but it feels nice. My skin looks good. I don't know. I don't think it did anything great. Have you guys used this cream? Let me know. RMS Beauty. How do you feel about RMS? So RMS used to be available. Did it? It was available at Sephora. Is it still at Sephora? And speaking of brands at Sephora, have you noticed how many brands have left Sephora, have entered Ulta, or are just disappearing from the market altogether? Yeah, a lot of brands have shut down. Even before the tariffs hit, they're shutting down. Yeah, RMS Beauty is no longer at Sephora, but I know it's at Ulta, because I picked up some cream shadows from them, and they're also at Macy's. So what are we thinking about what's going on in the beauty space right now? Like I said, a lot of brands are closing down, and a lot are preemptively closing down, which is interesting. They're already like, listen, we can't afford these tariffs, so goodbye. This looks crazy. So what I'm doing is going in with one of these new shadow sticks from Juvia's place. It's the Nubian Shadow Stick. This is the matte one in the shade Egypt. This is a light cream. This is looking crazy. Like I said, I don't even know what I'm doing with this look. I just wanted to try out these cream sticks because, like I said, all these brands, instead of doing unique, innovative products, they're all coming out with the same. And I get, like, if there's a season or a trend of product, every brand will do their own version of it. Like these shadow sticks, every brand and their mothers, I swear, are doing shadow sticks. A lot of them are in the drugstore as well. So we have options. This shade is, I'm going to guess this is Morocco. I don't like this packaging from Juvia's place. No, this is Nile, which is more of a peachy orange. I don't like the packaging because it's not color coded. So you can't tell what shade is what just by looking at the packaging. So you have to guess the shade by the name. And some of the names I guess I could guess, because Nile, I guess I could, yeah, associated with this warmer. Ooh, that is nice, and that blended so well. That is a nice, like, just warm color. It could be a beautiful one and done, because look at that. Blended out beautifully and we're done, right? But I can't tell from the packaging what the shades are. Jezebel I knew was the darkest color, but Monaco, you see how I confused Monaco and then Nile, so But everybody has a cream shadow now, which again, I don't think is a bad thing because that gives us options at different price points, and based on your preferences, maybe you like one brand over the other. Whatever it is, you're gonna pick your poison. And most of them have similar shade ranges. I think Juvia's place is a little bit unique with their shade range because they have a lot of mattes. Not all the brands have mattes. They may have 1 or 2 mattes in the lineup, but Juvia's Place went full on matte, and I think they only have 2 or 3 shimmers in the entire range. Ilia is another one that has a ton of mattes, and they have a ton of shimmers. I think Ilia has one of the widest shade ranges of the brands that I have checked out so far. And I've checked out a lot. I've checked out, let's see, Laura Mercier, which is like the OG of eyeshadow sticks, let's be fair. Bobbi Brown, also an OG. We have Fenty. I picked up a couple. Rare Beauty. I have Victoria Beckham Beauty. From the drugstore, I have L'Oreal, Milani, and Elf, right? As well as the Sephora collection. I picked up a couple from, who is this? Maybelline, also from the drugstore. I think the only brand that I'm missing, well, 2 brands that I'm missing that I still want to pick up a couple shades from are About Face and MAC. Just to round out everything and just get a good roundup of different brands at different price points and tell you what I think. And like I just said, most of the brands have similar shade ranges. They have nude shades and bronzes and champagnes, like across the board. And then you have those fun brands that have colorful shades, like Maybelline has colorful shades, as does Sephora and About Face. So if that's your speed, those are the brands you would go for. You're limited there. But if you're looking for everyday shades, you can get that across the board. Like look at this. Every single brand has a new, yeah, this is how OD I went. But every single brand has bronzes and nudes and all of that. But yeah, I'm trying to test out all of these and see how I feel. And these Juvia's Place ones, that was nice, right? What I like about shadow sticks is that they just give you that wash of color. It's easy, breezy, CoverGirl. Does CoverGirl have any of these things? Who is calling me? Hold on. Oh, my mommy sent me, oh my God, my daughter. Stop. I'm sorry. Excuse me very much. My daughter is so stinking cute. She's a little terror. I'll tell you what. She cries nonstop. And I'm like, oh my God. I have patience that I did not know I would have. And I kind of prepared myself for it because I'm like, listen, she's a baby. She doesn't know anything. She's brand new. Like every single thing is new to her. All the sensations, all the sounds. Everything is new to her. Everything that she's seeing, everything that she's experiencing for the first time. She doesn't know what the hell is going on. So I have to be patient, right? If she bawls bloody murder, I just have to be hella patient, right? So I've been good, thank God. And my mom, like my mom called me this morning. I'm going to talk about baby and motherhood and all of that because that's my life right now. That's my experience. But here is the Juvia's Place. But what I really want to go in with is my Victoria Beckham palette. I just got this. This is the new Bordeaux. Pronounce it all you want. The Bordeaux palette. So this is the warm. I don't know why she released this in the springtime, but I don't hate it because, you know, I love these kinds of tones. This is a very fall autumnal palette. You see the shades here. We have Bordeaux wine shades, a dark brown, this really beautiful shimmery, like a copper. It's or brass. You would say that's a brass, right? That's like a brassy copper shade. And then this beautiful tan, which matches my skin tone, like chef's kiss. It's so beautiful. It's like this. Let me show you. Let me just apply it. But my daughter, so stinking cute. So she's by my mom. Like I said, my mom called me, almost yelling at me, to bring my daughter over. So she has been taking her for a few days a week in the daytime, you know, in the afternoon, really. I take her over there. She spends the afternoon with my mom, and I pick her up in the evening times and, you know, settle her down for the night. And it's good. It's good because I get to do things in the day that I have to get done. And she gets to bond with my mom. But my mom is like, I'm like, mommy, you don't have to take her like she wants to take her every day, like every weekday. On the weekend she's like, nah, that's all you, whatever, right? So she's almost practicing for when I get back to work, because she'll be over by my mom. So it's almost like my mom is practicing right now to have her during the week, and then on the weekends she's all mine, right? But to me, I'm like, mommy, you don't have to, you know, take her every day. I'm home, I'm on maternity leave, and I got extended maternity leave because I had complications, right, with my well, not with the delivery, but after the delivery. So I got additional this. Oh my God. So what I did so far is I put the tan on the lid, right? That has a little bit of a golden, let me turn this light down a little bit. There you go. So it has like a little bit of a warm golden hue to it. Isn't that pretty? And then this red, this matte red, which is so stunning. Oh my God, that is so stunning. And these eyeshadows, the reformulation from VB. Yeah, I'm calling her VB. Yeah, but Victoria, oh my God, first name basis. Whatever they did with this formula is spectacular. And I know for my light skin lovelies, there has been a little bit of a complaint, you know, about the shades and the color stories of the palettes. They're all smoky. And I feel, I don't know Victoria Beckham like that, even though we're on a first name basis. I don't know her style. I don't know anything about her. Is she a smoky eyeshadow girly? I feel like that's what the style of all these palettes is given. Smoky. She's definitely smoky all around. And if you're not into smoky eyeshadow looks, then you may not be in love with these palettes, because everything is smoky. Everything is rich. Everything is deep. There are no like really light shades in any of the palettes. None of the color stories so far are subtle. And I know a lot of pale skin and light skin lovelies are just feeling a little bit left out because they don't want the deep smoky tones. They want something a little bit more everyday friendly for them. To me, this is everyday. I don't care, right? But I get it. I get it. So hopefully, and I don't know that she will, because that's what I'm saying. Is Victoria Beckham a smoky girly? Because if she is, then this is going to be her style. She's not going to give you anything, you know, light. But whatever. So I'm taking up this deep thing. So yeah, my mom was like, bring her over now. I'm like, mommy, all right, fine. So I brought her over there. Yeah, my mom is already attached to her, which is great. You know, like I said, it gives me time to do some things, and it helps a lot. Because she is not the easiest baby, but she's also not like the worst. But it gives me a break, because I don't think I am mentally and emotionally available to handle her 7 days a week, given how fussy she can be. She is gassy. I'm using the shimmer shade now. She is very gassy. And my mom blames me because I'm breastfeeding, so she's like, you're gassy, so you're giving the baby gas. And I'm like, how does that work? I think it does work, because if you have like broccoli and beans and that kind of stuff that makes you gassy, then it can make her gassy. I don't know how it works, but my mom says I'm giving her gas, so she's a little fussy, that little thing. She's not a terror, okay? She's not a terror, but it can be a lot when you're running on a little bit of sleep and the baby wants to be held the whole time. She won't sleep without like you holding her, and you get nothing done. So it's definitely a big help. And someone asked me in the comments, she's like, will you do like a pregnancy, motherhood, all that, will you do a Q&A? And the easy answer to that is, if you guys want me to. If you do want me to do a Q&A, leave the questions down below in the comments. Simple as that. Leave them down below and I can answer them. Like right now I'm gonna answer a couple of her questions. So her main question was, would I have considered having kids if I didn't live close to my mom? And that's a good question. And I think the impression is that I didn't want kids. And that's not true. I never had kids before, like earlier when I was married, because, oh, I have breast milk stains. Look at that. I was pumping and some of it spilled. It's a whole situation, girl. But I think the impression that people seem to have is that I didn't want kids, or like I was opposed to having kids. That is not true. I don't think I said that, and I don't think I would ever say that, because I'm not an all or nothing person. I am open to whatever. Whatever happens in life happens, and my life has just happened the way that works best for me. I don't know how to explain that. Like, my life has happened. I don't go planning things. Things happen and I go with the flow. Yeah, that's more like it. I go with the flow, and whatever comes, I just pivot or adjust accordingly, you know? So I'm going in with this Maybelline Jelly Primer. So this is the Maybelline Poreless Jelly Hydrating Blur Primer. There's another version of this that I saw on the display that was, I think, just hydrating. So this one is one of those silicone-y, it feels silicone-y. Does it have silicone in it? Ingredients: water, butylene glycol, glycerin, niacinamide. Okay, so it doesn't say dimethicone anywhere. Oh, okay. So now that I'm still rubbing it in, it's kind of absorbing into the skin. It feels silicone-y initially, but it's wetter than silicone. It feels wetter and it isn't as slippy. Oh, and it is filling in the pores. Let me find out. Come through, Maybelline. So I went to CVS, Walgreens, and picked up some of these new drugstore products. One, because I wanted to do a drugstore video, and also because I wanted to have this chat with you guys. Like, how are we feeling now about makeup and the price points? And everything is going up, and they started increasing prices around COVID because they're like, oh, the cost of production and the cost of ingredients and blah, blah, blah. Okay, just to hike prices up at least a few dollars each item, because, oh, you know, things are just more expensive to make, right? And now they want to hike prices up because they're screaming inflation. And then on top of that, the tariffs that are coming down the pipeline. So everything's going up in price, including like daily essentials. And now these treats, these luxury products, they're going up in prices. And it's like 25%, 30%. They're not going up, you know, bit by bit. They're going up, and the salaries are not increasing, girls. So unless you had a buffer already with your salary, you have to now adjust and adjust. I mean, everybody has to adjust, quite frankly, even if you had a buffer, because now your expenses are going up like 25%. So now you got to cut back on frivolous things. That primer feels good. It feels good. I think it blurred. It definitely blurred some pores. It feels hydrating too. And I wouldn't say it's sticky, but I feel like it has a little bit of tack to it. All right. We're going to try that out. I have this foundation too. It is the Super Stay Lumi Matte Foundation from Maybelline. The shade I picked up is 350. And this is saying up to 30-hour wear. Now, at what point am I wearing a foundation for 30 hours? Y'all didn't even say 24 hours. So y'all think I'm gonna wear my foundation for a full day and then 6 more hours. Where am I going? What am I doing? If you're not washing your makeup off, then I feel bad for your skin. You should be washing your makeup off after like 10 to 14 hours. Like, what are we talking about? 14 hours on a long day. But I'm gonna apply this. Oh my god, this Juvia's Place brush is everything. It is the J302 Cream Foundation brush. It's an angled brush, really fluffy, really soft. Well, not fluffy, but really dense, really soft. Oh, it feels so good. But this shade, that's a good shade match. But yeah, with all these prices, the way they are, like eggs. The eggs I buy, so I buy Happy Eggs. The blue and brown eggs. I love them. They taste really good. You can taste the difference in those eggs. They're probably organic, free range, all that stuff. Whatever they're touting. All I'm saying is I can taste the difference in those eggs versus like just the regular like white eggs. So those are the eggs I buy. The yolks are richly yellow. They taste buttery and creamy. So those eggs, okay, are $10 a dozen. And they have pricier eggs from the Happy Egg too that are like $12. So if eggs are that expensive, okay, and then milk is like $6, $7, $8 because I drink Lactaid, right? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Then you gotta get bread. Like, I'm talking about the essentials. Chicken and meat and all that, if you're buying organic, which I try to do, because it also cooks better, honestly. If I buy a Tyson chicken, it doesn't cook and hold the flavor as the organic meats, you know? And if you really want good meats, go to a halal store. They have really good meats as well. And they're not like packed with steroids. Ooh, okay, so here's the thing about this foundation. Really thin, feels really nice, glided on really well. The color is nice as well. The shade match, like I said, it's $3.50. It smells like alcohol though. Alcohol is the the third ingredient. So water is the first, dimethicone is the second, denatured alcohol is the third. And I don't have a problem with denatured alcohol. It helps with the spreadability and dry down of different formulations. It's not meant to dry out your skin. So stop with the fear mongering around alcohol in makeup, but you do smell it, right? So just be aware of that. That looks good. It feels very lightweight. And when I swatched it, it has this almost stain effect to it where it dries down like it's a stain. So I think that looks good. Okay, we need a concealer. Let's try the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This is not new, but it's new to me because I haven't really been a fan of e.l.f. products because I just remember eyes, lips, face, dollar makeup, okay? And they're still giving eyes, lips, face cheapness. I'm just saying, this is what I remember, cheap looking. But I mean, the formulations are decent, so who am I? This is deep cinnamon, girl. How is this deep cinnamon? Make a try it, do I know? That don't even smell good. What? But we're gonna run with it. So yeah, all these prices, and then the makeup is getting out of hand. The price points that I've been seeing, what? So that's why I was like, nah, we're gonna need to see what the drugstore got going on, because y'all are doing too much. Y'all know. And even the drugstore prices are going up too. So it's not even like you're saving at the drugstore either, you know? It's just that now the drugstore prices are more closely in line with what I'm comfortable paying. That under $20 price point, that's where we need to be with makeup. Because what are we doing? What are we really doing? For real though, like the prices, what? And I have so much makeup, right? So much that I don't need anything else. So I can like cut myself off. I'm like literally cutting myself off now. I'm done. This eyeshadow looks so pretty. That's nice. The eyeshadow sticks were doing it, and now this eyeshadow is doing it as well. So I also picked up some new contour sticks. They're not called contour sticks though. What are they called? Lifter sticks from Maybelline. So Maybelline has their lifter glosses. They have now these lifter sticks. They have all these lifter things. It's like the Pillow Talk or the Orgasm for Maybelline. And I'm okay with that. You know, do what you do. But these are their lifter sticks that are meant for contouring, sculpting, bronzing, and highlighting. So they have various shades, and I picked up a few shades actually. Number 75 is like a bronzer tone. Yeah, I feel like this can be a bronzer and a contour because the other shade I picked up, 80, is just way too rich, I think. Right? You see the difference? But it gives more of a contour effect. But to me, it's just way too rich. We'll see. We'll see what I think about these. But these are at CVS. These were, what, 14 or $12.99 a piece. Which, to me, that's kind of pricey, no? Oh, okay. I feel like that lifted my foundation a bit. Let me see. I was thinking this shade would be too rich and wouldn't be for me, or too red. Girl, that looks good, and it blended so easily. That's a good shadow. Okay, Maybelline. All right, let's blend the bronzer shade. Oh my goodness. Ooh, okay. Now it's like a drier formula. It's not really slippy or like really emollient, but it blends like, oh wow, okay, Maybelline. And this is what I'm saying, like the drugstore is stepping the game up when it comes to formulations, and I think just across the board makeup has gotten better. So it's very rare that you find like a serious dud product. You can, not saying you can't, but it's not so prevalent now that products just suck. This is a lighter shade. This is 25. Like I said, they have sculpting, highlighting, bronzing shades, so you pick whichever ones work for you. And I figured I'd pick up a lighter shade to see how it would work as a highlighter. Oh my god. So I was talking about my mom, right? She just sent me some pictures. I didn't even look at the pictures. Hold on. I might cry right now how stinking cute my kid is. She is cute. And yeah, all parents say that, but no, I've seen your kids. No. Stop it. Now I've seen some kids and you know, they have a face that only a mother can love. And I'm only saying that now because my kid is cute. I was worried. I'm gonna tell you right now, because I talk so much mess about people and their kids. Can't imagine my own come out look like a big toe. I was like, oh my goodness, please don't let my child come out looking like a friggin' ogre. Oh my god. Because I will talk about people's kids. No, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. Not even their kids, really. I talk about them. Talk about people a lot. So I'm like, look at the karma that's gonna hit me, right? And have my child looking like a straight big toe. No, but she's really cute. And that was another question. Oh, I didn't even answer the question. Okay, that contour worked out a little bit. There's a bump right here where my brother broke my nose. So when I contour, it looks weird. So I'm gonna leave that as is. I don't even really feel like I need to powder. Like with this primer and the foundation, I don't even really need to powder. Hello, hello. These sticks aren't glowy either. They dry down to more of like a natural finish. I need to figure out my hairline because my hairline tends to be a little bit lighter looking. So I gotta blend the bronzer back into it. Even that's the way the ear look like it's a pillow. Girl! Alright, I'm gonna go in with another Maybelline product. I didn't realize this was gonna be so Maybelline heavy. Is Maybelline out here doing the damn thing? Come on, Maybelline, do it! So this is their Sun Kisser matte blush. It's in like a lip gloss tube. So this packaging that is also the same packaging for their lifter glosses. And it has the doe foot applicator. I'm not gonna apply that. Well, should I try it? No, I'm not gonna apply it directly to my face because I feel like that's a disaster waiting to happen. I'm gonna pick it up on a brush, which is a Morphe brush. Yeah, because when I swatch these, woo, pigmented. But this shade is loud and proud. It is number 36 Spicy Red. And Spicy Red it is. It's a bold color. It's like a tomato red. So let me blend it out, girl. But yeah, the question was if I would have had my baby, even if I wasn't living close to my mother. Yeah, I would have. And like I said, it wasn't that I was opposed to having kids, and that's what I wanted to answer. I was never opposed to having kids. They were just never a priority for me. I was busy, you know, living my life, enjoying life, honestly. My 20s and my 30s, I had a blast. I'm using this brush from Sydney Grace instead now to try to apply some more. All right, this, I feel like you're gonna want to blend this out on like the back of your hand or on a palette before you go in with it, because it wants to kind of stamp down. I don't really love doing things on the back of my hand, but I'll do it on the back of a palette because it's intense and it wants to like, ooh, you see? It wants to stamp down and then it kind of gets patchy. So application method is going to be key with this blush. It's kind of giving a stain, and I'm wondering, because I saw this in the discount section, I wonder if they're not doing well. Lot of Sydney Grace brush both for pop off. But yeah, it wasn't that I was opposed to having kids. I was just like, I'm not ready. I am not ready. And I think a lot of people jump into having kids because they think it's the time to have kids. You're married, or it's just the age and your biological clock is ticking, so you have to have kids by a certain age. Like they have this whole plan just based on, I'm going back in with the foundation brush. Well, this was the bronzer brush, just to kind of blend that in a little bit more. Yeah, the color is beautiful, but the application is it's gonna need some help because, whoo, child. But yeah, I think people just have kids just to have kids. It just happens. They're in a relationship and they're like, oh, time for a baby. Oh, I'm married, time for a baby. Oh, I'm at this age, it's time for a baby. And that was never me. Even getting married for me, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. In fact, when I got married, my family was surprised. They were so surprised. I'm just going in with my Kosas powder. They were very surprised that I even got married because marriage was not a big deal for me. It was not a priority. I didn't plan my wedding. Like I didn't have this whole, I guess I didn't have an outline for my life. Like, okay, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to have my career. I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids and I'm going to have the house. And like, that was never my plan. Like I said, I kind of just go with the flow and whatever happens, happens. Not that whatever happens, happens, but no, whatever happens, happens. Like I have a general idea of what's going on, but I don't plan anything and put a timeline on anything. It's probably a better way to say it. I'm not sitting down like, oh my God, I have to get married by this age. I have to have a house by this age. I have to this, I have to that. No, It was just like, all right, I'm going to go to college, finish college. I'm going to have my career. I'm going to go like explore my career options. I want to travel. That's something that I wanted to do. Relationships, like I don't need a significant other to explore these things and actually travel. I've traveled by myself so much and people are always like, how do you do it? No, you just do it. At first I was scared. I was a little bit nervous, especially when you go international and you go to a country where you may not even know the language. You know, Asia was a big thing for me. When I went to Japan for the first time, nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I don't speak the language. What if I get lost? And the great thing is you have a cell phone. Before, back in the day, cell phones and GPS were not really a thing. And honestly, when I went to Japan the first time, and even when I went to Istanbul the first time, the GPS thing wasn't as useful because you didn't really have the access that we do now. But I just went with it, and usually it was business travel. Most of it, if not, most of my travel was business travel, and then I extended it for personal, travel as well. But I travel for business, and so my clients would arrange to pick me up, or they'd send car service for me. So I didn't have to worry about the transportation part of it. And then usually they'll take you out to dinner and, invite you different places. And if you stay over the weekend, some of them will even volunteer to take you out to go different places, you know, and you're still going to do your research and figure out where you want to go depending on like where you're located. So yeah, travel, I wanted to do that. I wanted to finish school, obviously. And when I got married at, what was I, 29? And that to me was still too young to have kids. And my ex already had 2 kids, so he had 2 daughters. So again, there was no rush to have kids, and that was great because that took a lot of pressure off as well. And we both went back to school when we got together, because he went back to school. He used to be in the army, right? And so he had come back stateside and was like, all right, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? So he went back to school. And since he went back to school, I was like, all right, let me go back to school too. Let me do my master's degree that I've been putting off for so long. And so I went back to school. And of course, doing that part-time while working is going to take a little bit longer. So traveling, going back to school, doing all that. And my brother, my middle brother, oh, so hateful. He said to me, all I do with my money is travel and go to school. Me need for breed. Excuse me, first of all, get out my uterus. Like, ew, yucky. But yeah, like, I was gonna enjoy my 20s and my 30s, and I wanted to enjoy being married. Like, let me enjoy this situation and then worry about the kids. Like, the kids can come after. Let's build this relationship, you know, and have fun with it. And luckily that's what we did, because we realized a few years in that, you know what, the path that we each want to take is different, because you're growing together, and we just realized that our paths are not aligning, and they're not going to align. And I don't think anybody should sacrifice and compromise their happiness for someone else. You're going to compromise. That comes with any relationship. You're going to compromise, but you shouldn't compromise yourself into being unhappy. And that's where it was headed if we didn't separate, right? So that's what it boiled down to. We just didn't align on certain things, and it was like someone was going to have to compromise and probably regret it or just not be happy with the decision. And I don't want to be the one to do that, and I don't want anyone to do that for me, because I don't want you to resent me in the long run because you made a decision to align with what I want. You know what I mean? So we went our separate ways, and it was amicable because we had that adult conversation like, all right, you want this, I want that. Neither of us should have to budge or compromise. So I think it's just best we go our separate ways. And that's what we did. But at that point, I was, what, 36? 35? 36. So it's at that age where you're like, oh, snap. Them eggs are getting old. I'm just layering mascara. The first one I went in with was from Versed. It's their Lifting and Defining Mascara, which is probably just exactly what it did. It lifted and it defined. It didn't give volume. This is my Huda Beauty mascara, my one coat. Wow, this is where the volume's coming in. But yeah, so at 35, 36, it was like, hold on now. What are we gonna do with the baby thing? If you want a baby, because like I said, I wasn't opposed to a baby, but it wasn't something I was chasing. Like one of my best friends, she always wanted to be a mother. That was one of her goals, one of her dreams. So I knew she would have a baby, and she had a baby right as she got married. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to get married. I don't know if I will get married. To me, it didn't matter. Like, I got married, okay, but I don't need a man to take care of me, so I'm going to take care of myself. So if I get married, cool. If I don't, you know, whatever. Like, relationships don't define me. And then the whole baby thing, like, kids are cool. I don't really like kids that much. I like my nieces and nephews and my cousins, but kids aren't like, oh my God, I love children so much. You know, there are people that just love kids. No. It's like, yeah, no. I didn't love kids, and I didn't need to be a mom. Like, it wasn't a dream of mine to be a mom. So I really didn't think about it much until I got divorced, because to me it was like, if I'm gonna have kids, well, I'm married, I'll have kids with my husband, right? But now you get divorced, like a lot of things change. You have to pivot now. And like I said, I go with the flow and I pivot. I will pivot quick, girl. So now I gotta pivot, and I considered that when I was getting divorced. I'm like, oh crap. Now, if I'm gonna have kids, I'm gonna have to start over. If I meet someone, even if I meet someone today, I still want time to get to know them and spend time building and fostering that relationship before bringing children into it. Because I think that's something that you need to do in a relationship, in a marriage, is build your relationship first. Because once the kids are grown, it's just you and your partner, and then what? And then what, you know? I'm smelling my concealer because one of them went bad and I'm like, oh, is this bad? But yeah, you're going to be left with your partner. So make sure that you build that relationship first. So obviously I'm going to need to build a relationship with whoever I'm with, right? And then we're going to figure out kids. Are we going to get married? And getting married again, not a big deal to me either. Getting married in the first place wasn't even a big deal. So to get married again, either way, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. No pressure, no, like, I don't, like I told you, I don't really, not that I don't care, but it's not like a big deal. Ooh, this is so cute. I'm gonna have to change the shirt because I have breast milk all over it. But yeah, let me continue talking. I think we're just gonna continue with Maybelline, because Maybelline is apparently the brand to beat. So they have these Super Stay Teddy tints. They're blurring lip products, like blotted lip things. So this shade is 15 Skinny Dip. It literally gives like a powder look to your lip. Not a powder, like a little blotted lip look. Yeah, that's because it's very blurred. It's very sheer, and it just gives like a little poppy pop, you know? So yeah, like, it wasn't a big deal if I had kids or not. Not that I was opposed to having kids, because that's not true. If I didn't have kids, I would have been fine. If I have kids, which I have a kid now, I'm fine. Like, either way, I would have made it work for me. It wasn't gonna make or break me either way, is what I'm trying to say. So I shouldn't be layering this up because it's not meant to be layered up. Anyway, so I wasn't opposed to having kids. But at the age I got divorced, now I gotta think about it, like, what are we gonna do right now? So I had considered even freezing my eggs. So I went to a specialist to check my egg reserve and, you know, consider my options that way. So I even thought about that ahead of time. Because what if I get to a point in life and I'm older and now I'm like, oh crap, I want to have kids, you know? So those things were considered. Like, I thought about it. Lo and behold, it just so happens that I met someone pretty early on, you know? And I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't planning for it. I didn't care if it happened. Like, I wasn't looking. I really wasn't looking to get into anything right after getting. In fact, I wanted to be alone. Honestly, I wanted to be alone for a while. And I told him that. I was like, honestly, I'm not ready for anything. I'm trying to be alone right now. He was like, nah, girl. You're too good for me leave you a road careless and somebody else could get you before me. No, 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 no. Can you imagine? But yeah, like, it wasn't a priority to me to get in another relationship right away. Let me change my shirt and put on, yeah, some jewelry, and I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Ooh, all right, so change my top. Girl, I always have to be in a nursing bra now. Otherwise, it's a mess, but here's the look. Do we want to do some lashes? Do we want to? I think I might do clusters. Let's see. But yeah, so I had to consider, like, what's going to happen if I want to have kids. And it was a concern because I was of a certain age, you know. And like I said, if I meet someone, then automatically the conversation has to be, do you want kids? You know, do you want to start trying right away? Because, whew, being the age I was, it's like, right? And And I didn't want to date someone that already had kids. Not at that point. If it became like a situation where I was this age now, like 40 something, and because I want to date my age, I don't want to date younger necessarily. I don't mind dating a little bit younger, but not like crazy younger. But my age, and most people my age already have kids if they were ever going to have kids, right? But I didn't want to date someone with kids, right? I wanted it to be our kids, this is our family, and I don't have to involve any outside people. So that was the first thing. I didn't want someone with kids, but if I did get with someone that didn't have kids and they wanted kids, we gotta have kids now, right? And it just so happened, like I said, I met my now partner pretty quickly, and we were open to having kids. Again, no pressure. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. And it just worked out the way it did because of timing, right? So COVID happened right when we met. So lockdown, automatically, it's like you're losing a year out of your life. And then during the lockdown, I switched jobs because my job was just being a little bit too shady. I asked to work remote and they were like, no, you can't work remote anymore. You have to come back to the office. And I'm like, but we've been working remote so far and it works. So what's the problem? That's because me and my partner, it was long distance, right? He lived in another state, right? So at that point we were thinking, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna be together. So someone has to move. I didn't want to move. He was willing to move. And then my family, the whole thing, right? The whole thing boiled down to I was going to move to Florida because he was in Florida. My mom was in Florida. See how COVID like made everyone pivot plans and change things? My mom moved to Florida because New York was just a mess. She didn't want to be in New York anymore. She was retired. So it just ended up that she was moving to Florida. My family, half my family's in Florida anyway. So it was an option. And before I got married, I was actually intending on leaving New York. And I stayed in New York for my ex, right? Because his family was there and it was better for him. So we were going to stay in New York for a few years anyway. But I was already planning to leave New York. So leaving New York was already on the agenda. And it just so worked out that my partner is from Florida anyway. My family is in Florida anyway. My mom moved to Florida anyway. So I moved to Florida and it worked out perfectly that the job that I have now is fully remote. So I could move and work anywhere. So it just worked out that way. Like I said, I go with the flow of things. I don't plan for things. And my life just usually works out the way it's supposed to. And I'm not religious at all, okay? I don't believe in organized religion. I'm not a part of any of that. Like, I don't practice any of that. Nothing against it. It's just not for me. So this whole God and Jesus thing, it's just, I don't believe in that at all. But I do also believe in energy, right? There's something bigger than me out there. I am just not sure what it is, and I'm not going to assign anything to it. I just know there is. There is something, I'm not sure. This eyeshadow is pretty, right? And I don't know, it just always works in my favor. Like, things just work out, which is why I don't really think too much about it. Maybe that's why I'm so like, just go with the flow. Because things just work out. And I don't have to plan for them to work out. They just do. And if I put my mind out there, it's not a manifestation thing or anything. It's just like, it's going to work out. And it just so worked out that the job worked out where I was remote. I moved. My mom lives down here. My brother was already living down here. My aunts, my uncles, cousins, like, we already have family here, right? Because if you know Jamaicans, they move to Florida or they move to New York, like tri-state, they'll go New York or Jersey or Philadelphia. That's where they situate themselves, child. So I have family in New York, New Jersey, and Florida. And the majority of my family now is shifted from tri-state, New York, New Jersey, and now the majority of them are in Florida. So it just so worked out that way. And my partner happens to be from Florida. He's Jamaican too, so obviously, right? So now, that worked out. And then when you think about having kids, like I said, you want to build your relationship first. So there's going to be a couple of years in between you meeting and having kids. All right, so that's happening. But in addition to that, like, I had to come and situate myself. Like, I moved to Florida. I need a house. I'm not going to have a kid in an apartment. For what? You know what I'm saying? I was at the point where I was ready to buy a house anyway. So, had to buy the house. And then with the new job, you have to be at your job for a certain time. You want to be at your job for a certain time before you go ahead and take maternity leave. Like, first of all, you're only entitled to a certain number of weeks given how long you've been with the company. So all that needs to, you know, line up, like align. So I planned that way. I plan it out. I think about those things and like plan it out that way. Not an apartment, need a house, need this, need that, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I moved into my house. If you watch my labor and delivery video where I spoke about it, I got pregnant as soon as I bought my house. Quick, right? So now I have the house, the baby's here, I'm putting down roots, my mom is here, and it just so happens that it worked out that my mom is here and she's retired and she can help with the baby. It didn't matter where she was or where I was and if I was close to her or anything, that wouldn't have affected whether or not I had a baby. Because honestly, my mom would have come and stayed with me for a couple of months. So even if I was still in New York and she was in Florida and I had a baby, she would have come to New York and spent like 6 months with me to get me situated with a baby, okay? And even if she wasn't retired, I have another aunt that I grew up with that would have come. That doesn't work. So she would have come and helped me. So I had all those things in my mind already. I had the help. So, and that's something that I think, I feel so bad for people who don't have the help. It is hard. I don't know how they're doing it, and kudos to them because it is hard to do it by yourself. You need the help for your sanity, if for nothing else, your sanity. So the long story short, answer to the question, would I have had a child if I wasn't living close to my mom? Yes, because she still would have come and helped me with the baby, you know? And even if she couldn't come, I still had another aunt that would have come, or like other family members that would have helped out. So I would have had help, you know? And you have to choose your partner wisely too. Like, who are you having kids with? People out here having kids with these people. And I mean, you don't know someone until you have a kid with them, like what they're gonna be like, but you can kind of anticipate it. But you have these people out here that are not helping the mothers of their children. And it's just like, what? I mean, they can only do so much because I'm the one with the boobs, but still, like, where's the help, sir? Hello, and where's his family, right? So it's hard if you try to have a kid by yourself, and people do it, so it's not undoable, or is that a word? Undoable. It's not something that is impossible. You can get by. Can pay for childcare, which is expensive as hell. So I don't know in this economy, but it's doable. It's not like, oh my God, it can never happen, but you need help, like for real. So yes, I would have still had a kid if my mother wasn't close by. Long story short. But we'll talk about the price points of these things, right? I just put on a lip gloss, also from Maybelline. What is going on? Let me find out, Maybelline. So this is a lifter gloss, but this is one of their popsicle shades. It is number 23, Sweetheart. So their lifter glosses are amazing. One of the best glosses in the drugstore, but this one gives like a popsicle look. I just wanted to put a gloss because I'm so used to having a gloss. And I popped on my little clusters from Velour. Let's talk about the products really quickly because that's what I wanted to like have the conversation center around, but obviously I didn't do that either. I'm not good at these conversations for these get ready with me's. I am all over the place, girl. But Drugstore is stepping their pussy up, okay? Maybelline apparently is where all the good stuff is. Hello, we have e.l.f., okay? Always coming out with banger dupe products too. So if you wanted to try out a higher end product and you're like, I'm not paying that price point, you can get it from e.l.f., girl, because e.l.f. is out here doing the damn thing. Plus we have other brands, right? So we have L'Oreal, Revlon, Milani, amongst others that we can get products from. So the high-end brands are not necessarily the end-all, be-all. Luxury brands are not the end-all, be-all. Indie brands, a lot of them seem to be hit hard by the tariffs, so I wonder how many of them are going to close down. Because either way, even if they manufacture in the US, they still have imported ingredients. I'm sorry to say, but a lot of ingredients that we use here in manufacturing, they're imported. So what are you gonna do? You're always gonna be hit with the tariffs. So I am buckling down. I am getting ready, okay? And I wanted to try out these drugstore products because I'm like, maybe that's where I need to focus, okay? If I want to try something new, that's where I need to be, okay? And this way I can test out these products and let you know if they're worth it, if they're worth checking out. Plus, given the state of things, I'm gonna limit my purchases going forward. So we're gonna work with all the products that I currently have in my collection, all the products that I've hauled. You know, enjoy your makeup now. Plus, the releases have slowed down. Have you noticed that? The releases are kind of staggered right now, and I'm wondering if brands are just holding out because they don't know what's going to happen in the future given the state of things, and they don't know how the market's going to be either, because are people going to really be buying beauty? And you do have the lipstick effect, right, where people still buy beauty, even will buy more beauty products because they can indulge in that, make themselves feel better while cutting back in other places. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's talk about the products. The Maybelline Superstay, it looks good. If you have oily skin, this may be it. It says it's Lumi Matte. I don't know where the Lumi is, but matte it is. It's matte, it's thin, it's lightweight. It glides on, like I said, almost like a stain, if that makes sense. It's so thin and it sets down so quickly that it feels like a foundation stain. That's how it feels. I don't know how else to describe it, but it is beautiful. I think the shade match I have is really nice, blended really well, and so far it looks like it's set on its own. So if you have oily combo or normal skin, I think this might be it. This is a good one. And if you have dry skin, you probably just have to prep your skin really well with your moisture ahead of time. But I like this. The primer also from Maybelline. This primer is nice. I really like how it felt. I thought it was going to be like a silicone primer, but it wasn't, and my foundation didn't slip on it. This is nice. Elf who? Y'all are going on and on about Elf. Meanwhile, Maybelline's over here like, let me get in, girl. This is a nice little primer. Really like this. I think this is one of my favorite things so far from all the products. The Juvia's Place eyeshadow sticks I really liked as well for like a wash of color, or even using as a base like I did here for eyeshadow. Really like those. I'm going to keep testing out the different eyeshadow sticks because I have thoughts on some of them so far, but I want to test out the gamut. And like I said, there are 2 more brands that I need to pick up. So stay tuned for that. I got to figure out how to do that because I have so many. When I tell you I have so many eyeshadow sticks, this is just one set. Okay, there's another set behind me in this. Yeah, so it's a lot, right? But do like those. I just don't like that the packaging doesn't have color coding. The eyeshadow palette from Victoria Beckham Beauty, I love these. I love these. I love it. I love how it applied. I love how it blended. I love the color story. I love the depth that I'm getting. I love a smoky look, so this is going to be right up my alley. Why am I looking so dark? Hold on. Sometimes I have to let my camera refocus. Hopefully it doesn't look this dark in editing. We'll see. But the Victoria Beckham palette, I have been loving the 2 so far that I've gotten. This one being the newest one. This is nice. Like, look at this. I love this. And I know it's more of a fall or autumn kind of palette. It's warm. I don't care. I wear any of these colors anytime. And to me, this can still give summer because it has that orange in it. That brassy shade. That brassy copper. I love it. I love it. What else did we use? The bronzer things, the sticks. I wasn't sure what I was going to feel, but like I swatched these. I did all the B-roll. I did the swatches and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to love it. I love them. Even the shade that I thought I wouldn't like, I really like that. So if you wanted bronzer, contour, sculpting sticks, at a different... Girl, I'm about to choke. Woo! If you want bronzer, sculpting, contour sticks at a drugstore price point, you can find them here at Maybelline. Yes, Maybelline. And you can get them on sale. Like, I got a coupon, so even though I think they were $12.99, either $12.99 or $14.99, and I used a coupon because CVS had like a 40% off coupon, and I could use the 40% off, plus I got cash back. So you can navigate it and get a decent deal for these products. So do what you need to do, okay? Clip these coupons. I'm gonna be out here clipping coupons and buying on sale because I'm not about to buy these things full price. But the little sculpting things, they blended really easily. I thought they were going to be tricky because it's a little drier. It's not that emollient, but it blended so easily and effortlessly. Gave me a little sculpt, a little sculpty sculpt, a little bronze, and a little highlight. I like these sticks as well. Go ahead, Maybelline. The Super Stay Teddy Tint. Honestly, truly, what is this? It's just a blotted lip look, which, I mean, if you're into that, I suppose. I just don't see the point of a lip product like this. But it's cute. It gave me the little powder, you know, pout. It was cute. It was cute. Is it something that I'm like, yes, yes, no. It's not like the ultimate, but it was cute. It was cute for what it's worth. The lip gloss, love this. The Lifter glosses, like I said, is one of the best lip glosses at the drugstore. Love that so much. The Camo Concealer from e.l.f. It's a concealer that did okay. I don't like the shade. I think it's just, the shade wasn't good for me. Full coverage matte finish. I don't feel like it's full coverage. I feel like it's medium at best. I just didn't, you know, sometimes you use products and you feel something. I didn't feel anything. It's okay, but I didn't like, it didn't impress me that much. But for the price point, I think it was $5 or $7. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's okay. I just don't like the shade, and I don't like the shade selection that I saw in store because that's the best shade I could have gotten for myself, and to me that was just not, it's just a little bit too beige. It doesn't cover, you see, it doesn't cover and conceal my darkness, so I'm just like, for the concealer. The RMS, what was this? Moisturizer. Felt nice, and so far I don't look greasy at all, so nice. We'll see. We'll continue to use it. I'm gonna use up all these skincare products, girl. What? And then the Lifter, the Sunkissed Matte Blush. This, it's cute, right? It gives me a cute little color. You know, it worked out in the end, but it does take some manipulation. I would not apply it directly to the cheeks. I would tap it out on the back of your hand or on a palette with your brush before you're applying it. And even when you're applying it with the brush, be careful because you saw how when I applied it, it kind of did like a little stamping situation, and I had to blend. I mean, it blends out, it will blend out, but it's going to pick up the product under where you're applying it because it kind of gives that staining effect. So not the most foolproof, not the easiest to use, but still I got a beautiful look out of it. And I don't know if they're being discontinued because like I said, they were in the discount section, so I don't know, but I liked it. It wasn't like the ultimate's not the easiest product, but so far so good. And then the Verse mascara, it didn't do a damn thing. It lifted and defined, and that's what it said it was gonna do, so I'll give it that. It was cute. It was cute, but I'm a volume girly, so it's not for me. But if that's what you're looking for, it's more of a natural lash, which some people love that. So it may be one to check out. And like I said, with the price points being what they are, maybe we need to start looking at these more cost-effective brands, more affordable brands, because I think Versed is available at Target. I didn't pick it up at Target. I picked it up on the Versed website because I wanted to try out their products because I do like their skincare. They've sent me their skincare before. I think we got them at Creators and Friends. So transparency here, just letting you know I've tried their skincare before, and that's why I wanted to try their makeup product. I bought these products myself with a discount code on their website, but they're available at Target. I don't shop at Target anymore. I limit my purchases at Target unless I definitely have to. It's because I don't like their business practices, but they're available at Target. And that's where we probably need to set our eyes at. The drugstore, Ulta, go on that drugstore side, girl, and get some of these products because these price points. What are your plans? Like, how are you going to navigate this new landscape with prices and everything the way they are? I I am still going to indulge in beauty, I'm gonna be honest, because it's where I get some of my endorphins. I love trying out new makeup products. I just love it. It's where I get my release, and it's where I get to share with you guys. And you know, we have this community and this interaction about makeup products. So I'm going to continue to purchase, but I'm going to really limit my purchases. And when I say limit, I mean limit. Like the last Sephora sale and these things that I picked up for review, that's it. Like, that's my last hurrah. I don't think I'm going to pick up much else because we need to chill. So what are your plans? Like, how are you navigating this new landscape? Let me know. And if you want me to do more questions and answers, leave the questions down below in the description. You can leave them anywhere because I'll just gather them up and answer just like I answered in this video. Did I answer the question? I think I did. I did. And if there is more that I can expand on, let me know. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.